G'day, my name's Licky and I'm a Streamaholic.
And hello, my name is The Warship and I'm a Streamaholic. And welcome to Streamaholics.
Did it.
Yeah, it worked. I've never heard that before. Did you know in all the time we've done this, I've never heard that before. I've never had monitor and output on at all. So I didn't know there was this like funky sort of semi-news reporter sounding thing at all at the start of that. I've never watched it either from like that side. So yeah, not once.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever heard it, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Fantastic. Oh, welcome.
Welcome everybody.
How are you doing there, Lukey? Welcome in everybody as well. Hopefully you're doing really well today. As you see, we've changed it up a little bit. I decided that it was time for a little bit of an upgrade here, so we got together and we sat down, and it feels a lot better. It feels like it looks a lot nicer, and I'm in general just much happier with it. So. Yeah,
I think this is actually really, really awesome, and Warship's being very modest because he done all of this. It's none of mine. All I did was go up.
It's a team effort. It's a team effort here. All we got to do now is get your camera looking good, and we'll be sorted. That's the next thing. The next step is getting that camera looking crispy, which you've got a better camera than me, so there's no reason for it to not look better. So
yeah, I think it might be just. It's also could be just lighting. You have like all these nice coloured lighting and warm sort of feeling lighting. Mine's just like in my face with all this white stuff, and I just yeah.
There's a couple of different angles, but you've also got more expensive lights too. Your lights are worth way more than mine too, because you've got Elgato ones, right?
So my expensive lights are only on the green screen, hopefully, and I've got these other cheap ones in front of me. So I really don't know what I'm doing here.
It'll be fine.
To me about streaming.
Right, yeah, but pay attention to everything I have to say about streaming, because that's how it goes. Also, my hair is almost back, so I'm not going to be bald for very much longer, which is fantastic.
Look how quick it's growing back.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, really, which is good. Soon I'll have myself a nice, perfect line like Wit has in his hair all the time. It's going to be fantastic. But yeah, we got shitloads to talk about today. Like,
a few things.
After not having anything to talk about for the past 3 weeks, and then having the interview last week with That Was Pro, this week we're kind of back on our shit. We kind of got a few things to talk about again, which is really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I guess we should start with normal stuff, like, how was your week? Or what did you do? Was it fun? All that kind of stuff. Get that out of the way. The small talk out of the way first, right?
Well, I'm not very good at small talk, but anyway, I did lots of work and, just normal days. Nothing exciting like gaming or anything like that, but
no.
Yeah, just
did you get around the new Fall Guys, free Fall Guys update yet?
No, I didn't. My son was telling me all about it though. He does a lot of gaming. He does the gaming for me.
Yeah. Look, I get it. I understand.
How was your
Yeah, it was good. Sorry, I genuinely find it difficult to get around and game when I'm not streaming, unless I'm doing something, absolutely. Server related with their SMP or something to do with a Minecraft world or V Rising or something like that. I find it really hard. I haven't even gone through and done my Destiny stuff in weeks now, and I logged into that the other day and I just sat there and I'm like, man, there's so much left to do, and I've done it so many times and I just don't care. And that's I think that's a bit of burnout, really, even though I only just went back to the game. But yeah, definitely feeling that right now as well. So yeah, I don't know.
PTSD from last time you had burnout.
Oh man, it was so hard last time though. I ranted about it all the goddamn time, and for due cause as well. But yeah, it's okay. We've got a whole bunch here. We actually posted a whole bunch of topics up on the Twitter just before I saw them for the first time. I've already seen what we're talking about, but I saw them as a list for the first time, and that was really nice. Whoever thought of doing that deserves a bit of pat on the back too, honestly, because I wouldn't have done that.
Sometimes we act like we're a little bit organised and get a little bit of list up. I feel like we slipped on that. Like our first few episodes, maybe the first 3 or 4 episodes, I was into like doing a little bit of a list here and there, but 32 episodes later.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close now to that elusive, we're at a year already, so we're getting close to that elusive 52 worth of episodes. So
I think once we've gone past the year now, I'm really excited for like the big numbers now, like the 50 and the 100 episodes. Like,
yeah. The big 100 episode is going to be fantastic. We'll do something fan. We might do that. How about we do the 100th episode in real life somehow? We'll find the way.
Yeah.
We'll do the 100th one in person or something. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so today on the show, we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got Twitch ads conversation, some new features coming to Twitch as well, some talk on Facebook Reels, questions from the chat, and there's actually a fair bit more to rant about as well. So like as far as the actual content goes, I feel like we've got a lot to speak on here. And I guess maybe the best thing to do, because you had something that you wanted to talk about last week. Do you want to maybe start there?
Yeah, with the Twitch ads. So we had a pretty big discussion. I actually missed the main part of the discussion, but in the Go with Discord, there was a huge discussion. It was one of those nights where everyone just started talking about something. The topic happened to be ads and do they belong in, or are they the thing of the future, the thing of the past? What should we do about ads? If we can do anything about them. And it all came on the back of Twitch announcing that they were going to be changing the way that they do their ad revenue. As we talked about in the past, Twitch has been trying to turn, or Amazon's been trying to turn Twitch into a $1 billion a year ad company. And they were kind of lagging there for a little bit. We've seen them try we've talked about it every week almost, about how they're trying to milk as much income and profit out of the platform as possible. So they're trying out a whole heap of different things, and this time it was the ad revenue. So in the past, in the past, what happens is for every 1,000 views that you get on an ad on your Twitch stream, you would get a set cut of that, and whatever that may be. Maybe it's 10 cents for every 1,000 views you get. But that didn't change no matter how much Twitch was paid for that ad, which is the part where people have always it's the part that people haven't liked about that, obviously, because Twitch could get paid $500 for that ad and you'd still get your 10 cents per 1,000 views. It might have been a cheaper ad and they're only going to get $100 for the ad, and you still get your 10 cents. So the new system is much more, it seems just a lot more fairer. The new system is that they're going to start paying, and they're starting off with partners first, and then it'll filter down to the affiliates in another month. I think the partners have already started on June 14th. What they're going to be doing now is giving you a 55% split of the revenue from the ads, which is, I believe that's what it is, 55% of it, which could be pretty good. But to do that, they're going to give you a lot of incentives to try and get you to play more ads as well. So you have to hit a certain amount of ads per hour, I think, to cash in on the 55%.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've already seen changes, even though I'm not partnered on the platform. I've already seen changes as it comes to the way that we get paid for ads. I don't know if it is just me or if there are other people in the same situation as I am streamer-wise, but I went from getting $1.30 maybe at best, and that was when I had like 100 people in most nights at the streams. Like, so they were definitely getting a lot of people through and a lot of people looking at those ads, particularly because back then we still had a lot of subscribers, but we had a lot of new people coming in. So they were definitely getting hit with those ads. And now I have to say, like, I've checked my recent revenues on that, and I'm looking at maybe close to $18, $20 a month on that. Now, that's still not great, obviously, but for the cost of... But for the cost of what they're getting for it versus what we get for it, it's still a bit garbage. But it's certainly better than a couple of bucks a month. But that being said, do you really want to subject your people to that? Do you really want to make your people have to, like, for example, when people come into my stream, sometimes straight from a raid, 6 ads, 8 ads. I've heard as much as 12 on a stream. Now, to me, if I come in on a stream and the first thing I see is some bullshit ad, I'm probably leaving, especially on a raid, They're like, all right, guys, we're going to see the warship. He's really cool. He's got so many fun things to do. Look at all the buttons he can push, and it's going to be heaps of fun. And then we go into the stream, and all of a sudden you get hit with like a Clive Palmer, I didn't win any seats in the election because I'm a big stupid dickhead video, and now we're probably going to get sued. But, like all of a sudden, that's what we get straight off the bat. I'm probably just leaving. I'm probably just going home and going to watch something else, and not bothering to stick with this new streamer. I'll probably go back to my comfort streams and go check out the people who I might always just default to, rather than going ahead and giving this guy a chance and seeing what he's all about. I'm like, I'll go hang out with my usual people, because they're all going to be there anyway, because they're all going to leave the raid and go to the next place. But those moments, those minute-ish, first minute when you get into a stream, that's that crucial point. That's the point where I could win anybody. If I get given the opportunity to, you come into my stream and you give me a minute to sell you on the stream, 9 out of 10 times you're not leaving. But if that first minute is full of shit that I have no control over, and in fact, I don't even know why 150 people aren't talking to me after raiding in. I have no concept of why, because it doesn't tell me, hey, stupid, we're running an ad right now, so don't say anything because you're going to have to repeat yourself in a minute anyway. We don't get any notification of that. Yeah, exactly right. And if for some people, it can be 5 minutes later. And I'd tell you one thing, man, I'm not hanging out. I'm not hanging out for a brand new streamer for 5 minutes. You can shove that right up your ass. I'll go to a place that I'm already subscribed to, or whatever it might be. Go watch YouTube and not even bother with it. And that, to me, that's a big pain point when it comes to the way that they do ads at the moment. And I've seen nothing but comments on Twitter about it, like, awesome, thanks very much, Twitch. I'd love to gouge my community for an extra $50 a month. Sounds sick. Because nobody wants to do it. And these are partners who are, they're 4,000, 5,000 subs down for the month, so they don't need the money anyway. But those people are saying they don't want it. So why would a smaller streamer who needs to build their community be doing that? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, I've seen reports already in the first week or two that some of the smaller partners, I guess, because I think it's only so it must be available to some affiliates already now. It says that it was going to be rolling out towards August. But yeah, so a lot of smaller people, some people are saying that they're seeing a bigger increase in their ads revenue, and some of the people have lost money to the new split somehow. So not sure exactly how that all works in terms of some people losing and some people gaining, all in the smaller streamer market. But the idea, I think, behind it, because we all know and I've been pretty big on Amazon is doing something with Twitch at the moment, whether they're trying to boost its revenue to try and sell it, or whether they're trying to make it look prettier for Amazon to keep the doors open. Otherwise, Amazon will stop caring about it and filtering money through and trying to keep it running. And people like Devin Nash that I listened to a lot over the years, I don't know how, but he's always been a big proponent of that Twitch actually loses money, and this is part of its plan to try and actually turn an actual profit down the track. But all that aside, the way that they're trying to do it, I think, in theory, kind of works, because they know that we need more ads, because we need to be able to be Twitch needs to be more, attractive to companies that want to spend money on ads, right? So they want companies to spend more money on ads here, and the only way to do that is to improve their ad platform. And unfortunately for the viewers, though, that means you're going to see more ads. I don't like the ads on Twitch in terms of you'll go into the stream, like you say, and you'll get 2 15-second ads or whatever it is, or 2 20-second ads. And unlike YouTube, who's conquered the ad game, you can't skip them or anything, and you're trying to watch a live video. So that's part of the problem. So part of this part that I do like is that we all have to wrap our heads around, I think, that for Twitch to make money and to stay afloat as a company long term and to appease the Amazon overlords, we need to be watching more ads, and they've got to try and do it in a better way. So the way that they're trying to do it, so for you to qualify for that 50%, 55% split, which gives you a bigger split, you have to run, I think, 3 ads per hour, and I'm not sure how long those ads are. By doing that, it will then cancel the other ads when people come into your stream. Therefore, making it, I think people are going to learn to use the ads to their advantage. Obviously, you're going to have to incorporate the ads in and do it in a creative way so that your community is on board with it. Also, And then that way, you also, if you are running those ads, you're getting the more revenue, and then you're not making people watch ads when they come into your stream now because you've been running the allocated ads, which also gives you the most revenue split anyway.
Yeah.
So there's, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see, like in a month or two, like how it's sort of worked out for everybody.
Well, why can't we have ads down the sides, like Facebook, for example, does? Why can't we have pop-up ads that come up on the bottom of the screen and then disappear after a few seconds? Like, why do they have to be completely obtrusive and take over the whole stream and full screen? And if they're not full screen, there's a little tiny screen about this big over here, which doesn't do anything because you still can't hear the motherfuckers at all anyway. So what's the point in even having it? You know, like it just feels like there's no benefit. And yeah, you can't skip it, just like YouTube. You can't skip it, which is straight up the most annoying shit ever. And honestly, right now, when it comes to YouTube as a platform, we're seeing like the same thing again. I don't know if I'm just watching a lot of content that is demonetized, but I'm getting like 3 to 4 ads per video at the moment on YouTube. And that's just getting ridiculous in itself. So I want to be able to skip them where I can, or I want them to be like 7 seconds, you know, like the ones that pop up, you know, on YouTube, but you watch it for a bit and it'll be like some like old guy walking into the doctor's and then it'll go to an ad, boop, and it's finished, you know, like that's fine. Like I'm okay with those because I know they're about to be over. They've got like a 5-second countdown, you know, like ad finishes in this amount of time, and you know that it's done. But some of these ads are going for like a minute and a half, and that's just insanity. Like there's no need for that. I don't understand the justification at all, considering how big the parent company, how much money that has in itself, and how much money Twitch itself makes. Like we know that it makes a profit, right? We've seen that it turns a profit, yeah? So why do they need to increase that and lower the viewership experience? Because all they're going to do is cause a situation where viewership will drop, as we've seen lately in the past 7 months. Viewership has dropped significantly. That can only get worse if everyone has to watch a whole bunch of ads. As a streamer, the goal of a streamer has shifted now. It becomes a point of, I said this the other day in my stream actually, I said, am I worth $7.99? Like if I am, please consider subscribing. And it wasn't me asking for subs, it was me saying, if I entertain you 4 nights a week, 5 nights a week on stream, and I give you 5 hours worth of content, 6 hours worth of content on that day, is that not worth less than a Netflix subscription? Is that not worth, you know, less than a pie and a couple of energy drinks at the service station? You know, like is that not worth that? I think that it is, personally. Now, I know obviously a lot of people have a lot of places they subscribe to, but you kind of pick your battles. You pick where you spend time. You know, 5 hours in a day is not a small amount of time. And there are people who come to my stream and they don't do anything else during that time. They don't come in and lurk. They come in and they spend time. Or they listen to me on the way to sleep, or as they're waking up, or during their work day, which they completely hate. Like there are specific situations for those people that will be there every day. So is that not worth that price? And that is how you have to approach it as a creator. You have to sell people on the fact that yes, you are worth the cost of not even a pizza. You know, like yes, you are worth the cost of parking in Perth City. And yeah, it's a really interesting thing to see your sub count drop or to see your viewership drop and go, okay, well then I guess I'm not worth that, because that plays into your head. And this is something that I will talk about later, but it's disposable streamers and the feeling that you are disposable to these people at any given time. As a content creator, as a streamer, whatever it might be, they are able to replace you with millions of people. And they do frequently, including people who say, hey, I'm your friend and I value you as a person and I want your family to survive and be okay and healthy and happy and grow and all that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, you're not really that. You're a commodity to them. You're something that can be traded, bought, and sold, whatever it might be. And if they can't buy you, chances are they'll trade you. So, yeah, there is definitely a real mental health issue, I think, that comes from the effects of that on our side, because I've said this on a previous Streamaholics, as much as those people come to my stream for emotional support or a place to be or friends to be around or whatever the case may be, I need those people for my health, my mental health. I use this it is work, but it's not only work, it's also a place to socialize with people during the pandemic, and it's also a place to have those big conversations about that serious stuff. And yeah, as much as those people might feel like they need me, they don't ever really stop to think, well, maybe you need them as well. And to me, that's a big sort of flag when it comes to content creation. That's why you will see that I've been moving a little bit more towards the YouTube side of things lately, and a little bit less in sort of the Twitch side of things. We just released a bunch of new stuff. We were like a 20-minute video yesterday, and it's because you cannot expect people to need you all the time. You can't expect people to care the same way you do, because if you're a person like me, you'll always care a little bit more. So when someone pisses off and doesn't give a reason, or gives a shithouse reason, like, oh, this happened and now I'm mad at you and goodbye forever, discounting all the good that you gave them, all the possibility, all the positivity, all of the parts that you made their life better in, but in that instant, they're like, and then you're done. And, I think about people who have come into my chat and said, well, I guess this is goodbye because of something you did. And I'm like, what? What did I do? Did I help you through shit? Yes. Did I say something wrong? Maybe. But do I deserve just to be left alone, abandoned? And I think there is a big part of that that's also like a bit of an abandonment thing too. So it's interesting to me. And I've gone off tangent completely, and we were talking about Twitch ads, and I'm sorry.
No, there was a lot there. I'm trying to keep up with all of the different points there, but it's good, yeah. Very passionate from
Yeah. Yeah,
but,
I mean...
fully understand. The way I was thinking about it then, I've spoken about this before. Not much of a community person. I've always streamed for... back when I used to stream, my streaming was character based, and it was all for entertainment really, and I was not very good at community side of things. So the way that I had wrapped my head around it, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't. I think that maybe I think kind of like an Amazon almost. Like, one person might have got pissed off with me for one reason, and they've come, and maybe I didn't even do anything. They just found somebody else, because that's the way streaming works as well. Like, there's so many out there. Like, every raid that you do, every time you're not live, someone will go, they'll find someone else to watch. Yeah. And then they'll find someone that they gel with even better than you. And then all of a sudden they haven't come back for ages. You kind of have to get your head around the fact that viewers will come and go, and you expect that before you even start. You appreciate them while they're there, but they might only be there for a week or two, and maybe you don't even do anything wrong, and it's just life that gets in the way, or they find another streamer that they gel with just a little bit better than they do with you. Not that they don't like your content or your community or you as a streamer. It's just, it's a very competitive game. It's the Wild West out there. So, and that's what you're a content creator though, that is always thinking about the next thing and creating new things and trying to find the next thing. And now you're diversifying a bit more too. Like I think that you've got to really appreciate everyone while they're there and while they're willing to be a part of your community. But people people will come in and out of that bubble. But as long as you're still fixated on, like, if you're here and you're in this bubble, I'm going to appreciate you. I'm going to appreciate the heck out of you while you're here. But you understand that some people's, through different reasons, are going to come and go. That your ultimate focus is on, well, I'm a creator. Yeah. I'm just going to keep creating entertaining stuff. And, one viewer comes, but another viewer comes. Like, one viewer goes and another viewer comes. And if you keep doing the right things and keep growing, one viewer goes and 3 viewers come. and the cycle will just continue. But you'll still have some core people there that'll be there from the start to finish.
Yeah, well, that's it. You got to appreciate and care about those core people, because at the end of the day, those are the people that will always be there for you. You know, they may not be in every stream, or they may be in every stream, but they will always be there for you. They'll always be talking in the Discord or sending you a DM or whatever it might be. And like, there are friends of mine who were around my streams all the time, and now we talk on Instagram, and sometimes they'll come in, but they're busy with life. They've got shit to do, and I get that too. But they'll still come in once a month. They'll drop the sub down. They'll say hello. You know, they'll try to talk for a little while if they can. But you know, we definitely understand when people are too busy, when shit's going on in your life and you can't be there. It's more so the people that blame you for doing something that you didn't do just because they needed an excuse to clear their conscience so they can leave. You know what I mean? And that's definitely a thing too. Like, I have definitely gone through moments recently where people have exploded, like completely exploded, for one reason or another, and it just caused a huge shit fight on the way out. And it makes you feel disposable. It makes you feel like you're just easily replaced, you know? And you might see them around in other communities or other places, and you're like, okay, cool. I guess that I just didn't do a good job. And I think that does come down to like that, what I was saying before about like the mental health side of things when it comes to streams and when it comes to streamers too. And I think it's important that we tackle those points too. I know they're not exactly on our agenda for the day, but I think in general those are important things for us to sort of look at from a streamer point of view. And yeah, it's crazy how a little thing can affect so much in the way that you speak, you know, in the way that you act on stream. Like if someone comes in and says something a little bit off, my brain goes into straight up into like explosion mode of like, okay, so what did I do wrong to bring us here? What are all the things that have not happened correctly because this person has just decided to do something that I would never do, you know? And I think that's a big part of it too, is that I would never speak to these people this way, you know? And yeah, I don't know. I think that's just an interesting perspective to have on the whole situation. So yeah. I think that's, again, we've said this before, but I think that's definitely one of those things where we will attack this properly on a separate, fully in-depth stream, rather than like on a day where we have nothing to talk about. We're just like, okay, let's just unload all of the barrels on this one topic and just go ham. So yeah,
because we could spend two hours talking about that, I think.
Oh, easily. I know a lot of people in the chat would be passionate about it as well. I don't know, a lot of people who would be listening back later would also be quite passionate. Now, that's one thing as well I want to mention to everybody who is listening along or watching or whatever the case may be. Go to the Discord. Go check it out there. Continue the conversation there, because we can only talk so much here. But please go have a conversation in the Discord, or go have a conversation on the Twitter. You know, go get into one of our threads where we've started to talk about this stuff and continue the conversation there as well. And fantastic. Don't you love a little bit of a bot? A little bit of a bot in the chat. Doesn't that just ruin the stream vibe? A lot of the time it does. A lot of the time it's hilarious, and you're just like, a bop, go away, and it's a thing. I totally understand the feeling. There you go. Oh, there's a bop. There's a bop. So satisfying. So fun.
I was just reading that. It said something about giving me more viewers or something. I was really
more viewers.
I need more viewers for the streams that I don't do.
Hey, you can just send all the viewers that you don't have my way, and then I'll have no more viewers. Wait, that's not good at all. That's the opposite of what we want to do. And you know, there is a lot of that opposite of what we want to do. Let's see if I can finagle this transition here. There seems to be a lot of that going on right now. The things happening the opposite way that they should be happening. Now, God damn it, no, I can't do it. I thought maybe the Ninja article. Nah. Help, Lukey. We need a transition. Go.
Hello. We'll transition to the next topic. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. We're off of the ad. if we're off the ads, let's go to Ninja. Here's the next one on the list of what I said during the week. So
yeah,
I didn't know whether this was like really any news, but because it's Ninja, articles were written about this. Little bit of advice from, and I'm just bringing it up now. It's on this side. Ninja believes the key to aspiring Twitch streamers is to actually find success to play smaller games. So he's basically saying, don't play Fortnite, don't play Call of Duty, don't play all these bigger games. Play smaller games with, I'll try and find the exact quote here. When you start off streaming and you're trying to build a brand from scratch, it's important to start with a smaller game with a smaller and more tight-knit community. Because in the directory of the game you're playing, i.e. Fortnite, Call of Duty, you're going to be buried behind. So I thought that was really cool that he mentioned something like that. And I think I said to you that he's just stating something that's pretty obvious and hopefully everyone knows. But just in case people don't know about it, yeah, if you're just playing Call of Duty and Fortnite, you are going to be buried like 10 million deep in the directory.
Yeah, and look, I've spoke about this at length on my streams. And when I first started, I took a little bit of a popular game, right? I started with Minecraft. It was still kind of getting its way back up again when I started playing it. But what I started to do, when I started playing that, it was about creating investment. It wasn't about playing Minecraft. It was maybe we'll get some people who like to watch Minecraft in if we're lucky, but we're creating investment. So we created characters. We created bases. We named things after people in the stream. We built things for people in the stream. We followed this whole line of like a journey. We created a world with expansive lore. Right, like Bert, for example, the bee, the jerk sheep, when I first started playing, because this sheep just wouldn't get in my house. And I'm like, man, I want this pet sheep. He's going to be my best friend. He's going to live in the house with me. And then he wouldn't get in the house. And I spent most of the rest of the stream being all like, you fucking jerk sheep, live in my house with me. And it was this like, this full-on thing that became a meme that still to this day is an emote on my channel because it created investment. From there, though, we moved on to Subnautica, which is an indie classic. It's kind of got a cult following. It really is one of those games that has a Cinderella story when it comes to the development and all that kind of stuff. It was played by Jacksepticeye, really took it off the ground at that point. And then obviously with Jack came all the other YouTubers too, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, all those guys got around it too. And it went from being a game that probably was only ever going to get to about here all the way to up here. But the good thing about Subnautica is when I played it, it had been like 4 years since anyone had even touched it. Subnautica 2, the Below Zero, was about to come out. It hadn't come out yet. And when I played the first one, it was like the perfect time for it. There was very few people watching it, but there was still enough nostalgia that if someone was scrolling Twitch and they saw someone playing Subnautica for the first time, they'd be all like, oh, I wonder if he does the haha like Jacksepticeye does. I wonder, if they do the similar things. Oh, let's see if they get scared by the Leviathan. There was this whole thing about it. And then from there we went to Undertale. And again, Undertale had a massive following about 4 years ago and then completely dropped off the ground, like off the planet completely. And, it still has a loyal cultist fan base, but they're not all watching Twitch. But the ones that do, they're actively looking for new people playing it. So I will 1,000,000,000% tell you to not play COD. I will 1,000,000,000% tell you to not play Fortnite, although Fortnite's Shippy stream is coming pretty soon because everyone wants me to play it. But I will 1,000,000% tell you not to play those games. I will tell you not to play Dead by Daylight because everybody is playing that. I will tell you not to play your GTA. There are so many games in that list that just, if you're playing that top 6 list games, you had better be able to have that community that will get around it. You better be playing with a group of people who want to see it and who will welcome new people in, because those streams, whenever I play like GTA Chaos, or for example, I'll get 500, 600, 700 people through my stream. But whether they stay, it largely depends on me as a streamer, my ability to retain viewership, and my community's willingness to involve people. So, yeah, I do think that if you're streaming COD to 3 people and it hasn't changed anything in like a year, why the fuck are you still doing it? You know, and I think that's a fair question. Like, if you're still doing that same thing to the same people and 2 of them are related to you and you're having sex with at least one other person in that chat and you're wondering why you're not growing, it's probably that. Try something different, you know? And I will always say that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're on Twitch, for starters, you know, you need to have already been creating something elsewhere anyway to tell people that you're on Twitch. But one of the other ways that you can do it, it is a little bit harder on Twitch, but back in the Mixer days, this is how far back I'm going, there was a plan that I saw multiple partners do over about a 6-month period, and it was to choose games that were... You have to find games that are kind of have like a bit of a... You know that they've got a following, like you say, through other means, or maybe it's an older game or whatever, but you have a look at it. And on Twitch, you can do it where you look at games that have... you look at the amount of followers for that game directory versus how many viewers are there. And you look into... I was always told that, you know, get your friends involved, tell your family about it, get those 4 or 5 people into your chat, and then choose a directory where 4 or 5 is actually sort of in one of these smart directories. You have to look around, find ones that have a bit of a following, or you know that have a community based outside of Twitch in that in that sort of game, and do a tactical shift throughout the directories where you use your 5 viewers to be in the top of a very small game that has a good following but not a lot of viewers. So when you go live playing that game, you will be more likely to be in somebody's recommended tab if they follow that game, but nobody else is streaming that game. So Twitch's algorithm may actually show them your stream versus the more popular games. Especially if they watch a couple in that small directory. Like, those people are going to get notified that there's someone playing that game a little bit. It's a little easier to get notified. And then once you get to like 10 viewers or 15 viewers or whatever you can sort of max out on that directory, you take that, say, 8 to 10 viewers and go and find another similar genre game that has a similar following in the Twitch directories, that where your 10 viewers would put you. And the secret remark on Mixer was, if you open up the Mixer directory for that game and you could get onto the top 2 rows, which was, I think, 8 to 10 streamers live stream. If you could get into that top 10 with your normal average viewership, then switch to that game. And then say if that game then takes you to 15 or so viewers after a few weeks to a month or something, move on to the next game where 15's good. And that's how you kind of move up the directories to the more popular games. And you don't move up to a more popular game until your average core viewership says that you can, basically. And what it does by being towards the top of those smaller directories, it means that, you know, a popular streamer might semi-often pop into that directory, and all of a sudden there's like 100 viewers at the top of that directory, and everyone else has only got a handful. But if you're in the top few on that directory, when that person finishes, that's another tactic you can play too, to try and stream around the times that people in those directories are finishing halfway through your stream. You can get raids and show off your wares, and also use that to grow in that one directory too. So there's other little things to go along with that. But yeah, definitely smaller directories are a tactic you can use to grow on platforms.
Well, so how I used it, especially early on, is what I would do is I would look at certain games. The first thing I'd do is like look at a game I was interested in playing. I would check out the game. I'd like the art style. I'd have been recommended it in the past, etc. And then I would go over to Twitch and I'd type in the game. I'd see how many viewers it currently had, and then I would look at the breakdown as well. I'd click on it, and I'd see, okay, so such and such person here is streaming to 150 people, and then everyone else is like 5 or 6, whatever it might be. I probably wouldn't touch those ones. The ones I'd touch is I'd go, okay, say my average viewership is 65, right? For example, I'd go into a game, and I'd be like, okay, cool. So in this thing, there's one who's got 1,000 viewers, but the next one down is 40. The next one down is 35, 30, whatever. I jump straight into that one. Into that one because I'd be number 2. So regardless, if those people who are watching the 30 or the 25 get bored, they go back out the directory, they keep looking for it again. All of a sudden, they see me with 60, probably 70 by that point, and they're like, "Well, this guy must be doing all right." So they click on there, they come in there as well. Then hopefully we get a raid later on, or hopefully, the other chat with the 1,000 people, they get pissy because they can't talk to the person they're trying to talk to, but they still want to watch the game. So maybe they come across and they watch it as well. That's how I would always attack games when I didn't know what to play, or if I didn't think it was going to work. I wanted to see if it would actually be beneficial to me to play the game, or if not, then it would become a YouTube game. Then it would become a game that I'd either directly stream to YouTube, like Life is Strange. I knew that I was going to get nothing from that. The new one, I forget the name of it now, True Colors. I knew I wasn't going to get anything from that as far as viewership goes. So I was like, all right, I'll stream the whole thing on YouTube. And I did. And I streamed it to like 15 people because nobody used to come over to my YouTube from Twitch. So... But yeah, that was fine. That was completely fine because I already set that expectation. Plus, it was a gift from a developer at the time, so I had to figure out a way to play it, but not have it affect my streams. And that's another battle as well. So, but when it comes to it, it's like I would always choose those battles. As much as things like Xbox Game Pass are really good for a lot of things, as far as like playing new games and stuff goes, if you take most of those games and put them into your Twitch chat to see whether or not they're popular on the platform, you'll find a lot of them won't be. And if they are, well, if there are people playing it, it'll be like to 5 or 6 people because they've gone to Xbox Game Pass and they've decided to grab that and play it on their streams as well. So yeah, it is tactical in a lot of ways, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be, but if you're trying to make this a serious thing, you need to strike fast and strike hard. You can't just throw shit into a fan and hope that it paints your walls. You really have to get the paintbrush out and curate how the shit looks.
I think at the moment too, with Twitch the way it is, like with the Mixer thing, it was a lot easier. There was a very small platform compared to Twitch too, so it's quite easy with 10 viewers to go into a semi-popular game on Mixer and be in the top 2 rows. But so very very much harder on Twitch. I wouldn't like to be trying that on Twitch, but it definitely is a tactic. I think once you get to like a size where you have the 50 or 60 viewers, that's where you can really use that tactic, because that you will put yourself at the top end of some decent games too. But with the smaller streamers, I still don't think you can. I still think it'd be super hard to like choose a game that's right down the bottom of the Twitch browser page and try and to go in with that tactic to start with. I still think that you still need to grab 10 or 15 viewers from somewhere else at least and bring them to Twitch to start doing that tactic in the first place. And that's like the whole the hardest thing about Twitch is getting those first sort of 10 to 20 consistent viewers so that you can actually then use your viewership tactically in any way, shape or form. Like there's so many people stuck on the 5 or less viewers that just can't grow because they're buried in directories, even buried in small directories. You kind of still do need that outside sort of source of diversity in your content, where you're bringing someone in from a YouTube, it's always been the thing. Do something on YouTube, and then even that's its own game, but at least there's an algorithm over there to try and get. But then those tactics as well, the reason why they're also hard, even though they're kind of just better than languishing in a big directory, but the other reason why they are also hard is because I lost my train of thought just then. Damn it!
So maybe I'll speak and then you can remember what you were saying. So what I was going to say is the reason they can be difficult is because it's really important to play things that you want to play. And if you spend all your time trying to languish in a specific category just because you think it'll get you better viewership and you end up playing something that you don't like, that is also a big detriment too. Did I fix it?
Yeah, I remembered. Yeah. So the reason why that little tactic can also be really hard is because you're jumping from different genre games. You've got to be also very tactical that the games are kind of like if you do horror games, So you're bouncing up the horror games directories.
Yeah.
Like if you do RPG games, you're bouncing up. You can't just go from like a really really small, like I don't know, just some other game across to like a Minecraft and then back over to some sort of sci-fi shooter over here, and like you will lose the viewership who will stay in those directories.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going from say like a really small old horror game, for example, and then bounce up to the next most popular horror game, you'll more than likely see some sort of a bleed through of viewers that already watch between the two directories.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So you should definitely play Dino Crisis, is what you're telling me. I mean, I miss Dino Crisis. They need a new Dino Crisis. Holy shit! Why did that pop into my brain? I don't know, but now I want to play Dino Crisis so badly.
Now you're a Dino Crisis YouTuber.
I am. That's all I do. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dino Crisis. What a good game. What a good game. I slightly moved the camera, by the way, but I think it's all good now. You were so far away in the corner, but now you're a bit more.
I think I was just
in the right spot. Yeah, for a minute there, you were leaning into me pretty heavily. Yeah, it was. That's not bad. No, that's not bad. Wait. Like this, and you can just disintegrate into into Thanos. I don't feel good, Mr. Shippy. Fantastic. I mean, I love the new layout, though. It makes me happy.
A little dip on
a little
shoulder.
dip. There you go. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Yeah, but no, I think that at the end of the day, when it comes to game choice, the most important thing is to play what you want to play, but don't play COD. That's my final word on it. Like, don't play Apex, don't play Valorant unless you're in the top like fucking 10% of the game. Don't play them. You know, if you're trying to grow your community, if you like playing them, pick a fucking day. Yeah, pick a fucking day and play them on that day. But pause, stop the game after games and do some other shit, and then go back in. Don't sit there for 15 hours like this.
No. If you're gonna play COD for 15 hours like that, then at least be creating other content around the game.
Yeah.
If you desperately need to play COD, then at least make something interesting on TikTok or YouTube around that game to try and stand out from the rest. That's or just don't do it on Twitch where that directory is like huge. Play those games that you really love on try out different platforms. Yeah.
Look, there are so many other options when it comes to it. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. If you're aiming to grow on the platform, you are literally just burning yourself before, you're causing your own demise because you're playing an oversaturated game in a platform where nobody cares about the game at all, except you. Like, you care. And on that point, as we've said before, the big boob streamers, they're not taking your content. Your content is just shit. Like they're not taking your content. If you're playing COD to 5 people, it's just shit content. And like, that's not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or nothing, but there's definitely a direct correlation in the time that I've been watching streams and streaming myself between people who never grow, who play the same category of games to the same people for an exorbitant amount of time, versus the people who will grow because they don't do any of that. Like, there is a distinct correlation between those 2 points, and it's not even an opinion. It's just facts. Like, it's not even me saying, "Oh, Shippy doesn't like COD." No, I love that shit. I'll play that shit at home all the time. I'll play that when no one else is watching. I won't play it anywhere where it will tell you guys that I've been playing it, but I'll play it. I'll play it on an offline. I'll play it on Xbox, some shit, but I won't play it like. I won't play it in the public eye because it doesn't interest my community. And I tell you one thing, it doesn't interest any community unless you're already made a name for yourself on that game. Do lore videos. Tell me why the COD man had shot the army guy in the army base that's the same as every other fucking COD game. I'm sure there's probably a reason, but tell me why. Tell me why we're going to this PvP map, which is a bunch of fucking shipping containers like every other COD game. I'm sure there's a reason why. And if there isn't, make one up. You still probably get views. You just make some shit up. Like, it's there's a reason that guys like Swagger Souls, for example. I know I speak about him a little bit. The guy with the hat, the helmet, the medieval helmet on. He'll play like CS:GO, but he plays it with homies. He plays it with a bunch of people, and they're very funny. They're very offensive, but they're very funny, and they have like a good back and forth. Those videos are heavily edited. like heavily edited.
I was just going to ask, is this a edited video or a live thing? So edited.
Oh, heavily edited. But at the same time, he'll get onto the Epic SMP or one of the Minecraft SMPs and just stream for hours. Or he'll paint. He'll do either VR painting or sometimes even real life painting for hours because he's not like stuck in that CSGO like roundabout where you just play the same kind of shit games with the same people, you know? Like you have to diversify. You have to. That's my opinion on the whole situation. I wonder if maybe we could skip into the thing that I was talking about sort of next. So I've got a couple of notes here. I follow a guy on Twitter. If you guys don't follow already, his name is Zach Bussey, Bussey. I don't think it's bussy, but it could be. But I hesitate to say the word bussy on the internet because I will get in trouble for it. I believe his name is Zach Bussey. Essentially, though, he always tends to find new stuff that Twitch is doing. I think that he's insider of some form. I don't know if he works for Twitch or what the case may be, but he always posts Twitch news. It's definitely worth going and get a follow if you haven't done so already over on the Bird app. Now, one of the things that came up with was Twitch has added a charity donations activity to the activity feed. So there's a section within, your activity feed where you go to your creator dashboard, all those little buttons on the side there. There's a section that's been put in there for charity donations, which to me is a game changer because I'm sick to fucking death of every time I do a charity stream having to change my donation link to be whatever the donation is at the time, whatever charity it is at the time. I would much rather just have a direct link that I can put in and say, guys, if you want to support this charity, type ! Charity, whatever it might be, whatever the code is, type that in, it'll give you a link, click that link, and boom, it'll take you straight to donate directly to the charity or directly to an account that will then get forwarded to the charity. Rather than you having to sit there and, like for me, for example, and for a lot of other creators who do charity streaming, having to go, okay, well, guys, well, I do super duper fucking promise that if you guys get us to 5,000, I'll definitely give all that money to charity. Like,
definitely.
It definitely will 100% do that. It's a lot of extra fucking effort on the streamer side of things, and you're trying to do a good thing as it is, You're trying to raise money for whatever reason. You don't want that brought into question by people who are offsiders to the community, and you don't really want to like make it so that you actually do any extra work and there are any extra fees involved, because all of a sudden that $5,000 becomes like $4,800, and it's like depending on what you pay or whatever, but it ends up being a big difference. So it's a really cool thing. I do hope it goes through. Zach is actually the person who bought us quite a few of those scoops over the past couple of months whenever we've kind of come up and said, oh, hey, Twitch looks like they're about to integrate this option or this new thing. So it looks like this is definitely a thing that's going to be coming very, very, very soon. I just thought that was a really interesting one. It doesn't really require very much in the way of back and forth conversation, I don't think. I mean, I just think it's a good idea. So
it's definitely a good idea. I was surprised that Twitch didn't already have that function, but it's definitely a good idea. Because it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. So is this like going to be a button if you activate it that's available there somewhere on your stream page when you're streaming?
So looking at the way that it's set up now, the filters, it looks like it'll just become another button if you have charities enabled. So if you have maybe a tick, a button slider enabled for charities for that stream, then it'll become like bits and subs and donos, except it'll be charity. Because the way that it's set up in that filters menu, that's how it looks. Because you can filter by hype trains, raids, subs, all the stuff that usually appears anyway. So
so that's what you'd want. It's not free. So you don't have to use some sort of a chat bot message that's linked to Tiltify and stuff like that, which makes it a bit more harder, just a couple of extra sets for people. Like YouTube and Facebook have got that option, which has always been quite handy when you see people doing on both of those platforms doing charity streams. They've already set it up, and on that platform it's the same thing. You can go into your producer settings and choose to add a donate button to your stream that you're just about to do. You can set it up as you go live. And those two platforms, and I'm guessing Twitch now, will have the option now where that platform has already done the work for you and got the charities on board. So you basically would then go and search the charity, and they've already set up the link for the payments on their end.
Yeah.
So then you would just add the button, and people would just click on the button and donate. And I'm assuming if you set up a charity stream, if it works like the other platforms, you can also show your progress.
There'll be a progress goal and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah,
should be good too. Yeah, which is going to be great for charity streamers.
Oh yeah, and because like that is one thing that deters a lot of people, having to go through the whole process of taking that money that you've made through your own personal PayPal and then donating it across. Plus, it's a nightmare for things like tax time too. Making sure that it's going through the right places and all of that as well. So, it's just one less hassle, I think, and that. Yep. In a world where everything is hassle when it comes to Twitch, I think that's probably a good thing. So, not much more on that really, but yeah, definitely interesting. The other thing I wanted to talk about that I find particularly interesting is that Twitch has updated its policy on self-destructive behavior. So it used to be very specific on things like self-harm, etc., drinking yourself stupid. Like there's a lot of small but very important things that they've added over the course of time. And hence the reason why I very, very, very infrequently drink myself to death on stream, because you're not allowed to. But they've updated the policies quite a fair bit, and a lot of the stuff that they've actually added to it is a lot of a quick content warning, a lot of stuff surrounding self-harm and conversations about suicide and things like that. That is now currently far more prohibited than it was before. So, but on top of that, because essentially what they say is that you should not describe prior experiences in graphic or vivid detail. You shouldn't glorify those experiences or otherwise encourage others to engage in them. Because one of the things that Twitch is it's become very influential amongst the younger generation, because a lot of people are watching Twitch. So the idea, I guess, behind it is to ensure that people aren't glorifying those particular topics. Now, the one that particularly got me is because I do a lot of advice when it comes to dietary requirement and exercise, because of all my experience in wrestling, is that issues surrounding eating disorders also fall under that policy now. Any conversations about eating disorders in general, and I don't need to mention them, I'm sure we all know what they are, but anything around that stuff is also inclusive of everything I've just said there. So the goal is not to stifle meaningful conversation about mental and physical health, but to instead ensure those discussions are productive and do not lead to additional harm. Caring for your mental health and well-being is essential to your physical wellness. And then it says, if you need someone to talk to, etc., here are the links to go to. But yeah, it says content that promotes weight loss strategies that either explicitly or implicitly encourage disorders is prohibited, as is the glorification of health habits characteristic of eating disorders. That could also include things, I guess, like intermittent fasting would qualify for that. Things like, even to the point of different dietary advice, stuff that doesn't fall within the norm may fall within that too, and that's a little bit of a gray area, I think, because who works at Twitch, who knows, whether there are benefits to ketosis or not, who's having those discussions. I understand the intent, but there's also the side of it that is a little bit skew-if for me, because it's like, well, how are they regulating this? Do they have health professionals, nutritionalists involved in that side of things? Or is it really just focusing on the big ones that we all know about that are direct disorders? And they're not particularly clear on that. So I was wondering what you thought about that, because I think that's an interesting point to really touch over briefly.
Yeah, I wondered what brought it. I think the way it's been worded is good, because it definitely says that they want you to still have those conversations, because they, I guess, know that it's very important. And you've spoken a lot about it now with community members and that, where those sort of conversations happen quite frequently for streamers in their community live on their channels. So to take that away from the community and just make streamers not talk about it at all would be pretty extreme. So I'm glad they haven't done that. So to actually word it that way, I think is really good. So they just don't want you to talk about the ins and outs of self-harm in a more detailed and push. And they talk about not wanting to like encourage it, obviously, which is to me that would always, like, I would have always thought that would have been a thing in somewhere in the terms and conditions that, or terms of being a Twitch streamer, would have been in there. There would have been something worded in there that would have been able to allow streamers to be banned for encouraging it. But now they're just making it more blatantly obvious and public.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many like additional points to it too. Like, you know, like things like sharing notes or graphic details of intent. Like they're really cracking down on the intricacies of it all. So
yeah, so I really don't want you to go into too much detail with it, apart from
just
talking about it.
Probably shouldn't go into any further ourselves because we are walking that line as far as the conversation goes. And obviously, guys, if you do have any of those issues, please do check out the crisis prevention pages, which I will link in the chat here now as well. This is just their one there as well, just because to cover our backs as we're talking. But yeah, it's very important to know that the policy does dictate, you know, pretty harsh, you know, guideline breaches if you actually go through and break them. So, you know, if you are a streamer who does talk about that stuff frequently, you need to have a look at those guidelines and really assess if that's the conversation you should be having on the platform. So, I just thought that was super, super interesting because I know a lot of people who centralize their content around that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So do I actually. There's a few people that are mental health experts that talk about it. Obviously, they would probably be treading lightly around it anyway, I think, with the content that they provide. But yeah, other people might have to change the way they talk about it now. Maybe logistically, just thinking about it from a streamer advice point of view, if you are the type of person that might skew the line a little bit with that sort of, it might be time to start thinking about doing some more community-based Discord private sort of chats, more so than having them live, which is probably a better way to do it anyway, even for the person that's in your community that wants to talk about it.
And if you're not sure, you probably should check as well, you know? Like, yeah. If you're not sure, you should really just check up on it and see where it should stand, you know? And, well, yeah, I personally just think that being informed is the best way forward when it comes to any policies, because Twitch will sometimes throw some shit out there that you have no idea about, you know? And then all of a sudden, you'll get in trouble for it, and you're like, but why? But why? Because I feel like I've always done this. So I actually have a thing. I actually have a segue here as well on this as well. So nothing to do with any of this at all, but I have been doing more content on other platforms. As you know, we talked about it earlier. We released a video over on YouTube. Along with that video, I did an advertisement for OG Nerd, the sponsor for myself, not for the channel, not for Goa, not for any of that stuff at all, but my direct one. And in that ad, I whacked that on Reels, and no shit, probably half an hour later, it's got nearly 3,000 views. And that is on Instagram. Now, one thing I find really, really interesting is this conversation here about YouTube and Facebook adding monetization and tips to Reels and Shorts and other short form content. Now, I do okay on Reels and, well, Shorts. I do okay on YouTube Shorts. Instagram's currently my best spot, but I do decently when it comes to those. Now, I do kind of wonder, because I don't know how the system works, and maybe you can elaborate for me because you've read into it a little bit more than I have, but I know that if you have only Shorts on your channel, it doesn't count towards monetization. It doesn't count towards your viewership or anything like that at all. So how does it play into getting paid by them? If all you post is Shorts, for example, is it meant to offset people who are already monetized as an additional wage point, like an additional way to make money, or is it for creators who just want to make some money and they're not quite there yet? Do you know how that works?
Shorts meaning YouTube. I know that you can because a couple of months ago, maybe not even a couple of months ago, it probably is now, YouTube opened up the fact that you could send super chats or their donations, monetary donations to VODs now on YouTube. So that was a cool feature. So you didn't have to. So this is getting away from the fact that you don't have to be live to be earning money, so burning yourself out. I think it's really, really cool. Gives you an extra bonus. I don't know about shorts on YouTube. The news that we dropped today was about the reels on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I'm not sure about shorts or whether you can monetize shorts. I'd have to look into that. But reels, which is basically shorts for Facebook and Instagram, have added are going to be adding monetization to that short form content, and also VODs as well on Facebook. So you can get paid when you're not live as well. So just adding more and more monetization tools to people to earn more and more money, which is really great.
Excellent. I mean, like for me, it's big news because, like I said, I actually do pretty okay when it comes to Instagram. Like, I'm not getting like 100,000 views on a video or something like that, but to sit there and put up an ad, which it's all it is an ad. Like, it is dead set just me talking for 45 seconds about a t-shirt company, and half the content I stole from the Instagram page anyway. Like there was no effort in that, but by the same token, to go and do that and then have at present 2,600 views on that, like that's got to be beneficial, for creators, I think. And I definitely see a huge benefit in that. Facebook could be great too, because depending on how big you do there, you can automatically link the two as well. Obviously, like when you post to Instagram, it will auto post to Facebook anyway. But yeah, I find that super interesting as an extra avenue for revenue. I think that's real cool. So
it's basically, I don't know if you can get stars on Instagram already. Like, I actually took this as to be like a Facebook thing. Obviously, I'm not sure if it says Meta and it's talking about Facebook, but Reels was an Instagram thing that you can now do on Facebook. Cross post to Facebook as well. So you basically have to so there's got requirements here for these star donations for their Reels clips. Just basically have to have at least 1,000 followers over the last 60 days. Maintained at least 1,000 followers over the past 2 months. You have to operate in all the major markets basically, and you comply with all the monetization policies. So basically, if you're monetized on Facebook and Instagram, you should be eligible for that to be able to earn stars on your reels, and soon.
Yeah, cool.
And because they specifically mentioned VODs as well in this article, so they're definitely talking about the Facebook side of things, and I imagine with the reels, it will be available on the Instagram platform as well. You would imagine.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, that's good news. That's real good news.
Yeah, and the other thing with I'm assuming this works for Instagram as well, but you know how Facebook wasn't going to be taking a cut of like subs and donations for people that donate and sub to their favorite creators on Facebook. And they weren't going to be taking a cut at all of that until 2023. Facebook, as part of this announcement, has announced that they're pushing that back off for a further 12 months as well.
Oh, wow. That's cool. That's great news for creators.
Yeah, so if you don't like anyone taking any of your money that gets sent through Facebook and Instagram, I guess is the way to go, that side of things. There was another interesting thing there too, which I don't fully understand yet. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, is that Facebook this is another one of the features they announced at the same time, is that they're announcing that they're making it. I'm trying to find, it's not in that actual article that I just posted there, but there's a feature where they're now employing you to, they're going to make it so that you can have subs from other platforms, and I take it as things like Patreon and things like that. You can actually have it so that it's integrated into your Facebook page and allow them a private Facebook group on Facebook to post content for people that are subs on other platforms or paid members on other platforms, which is, I don't know enough about it, but that's kind of loosely how it was written.
Like a shared Patreon across different platforms.
Yeah, so not that you would get paid through Facebook. I think you still would get paid through Patreon. So already at the moment, if you become a subscriber or a supporter to someone on Facebook and pay them the monthly fee, the same as subs on Twitch, yeah. You already got put into a private group that streamer or creator controls, where they can post special content, and as obviously a bonus for subbing or supporting them. They're now opening up, or will be opening up, a feature where you can have another group, a private group, and somehow it's integrated with other platforms that are off the Facebook company.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know enough about this, so it'll be interesting to see where that comes from, as that sort of gets explained a bit more, because it was very vague what they said amongst all of these other things. It was actually Mark Zuckerberg's tweet, so I should just look up Mark Zuckerberg on Twitter and find out.
Yeah, fantastic. That's super, super interesting. Yeah, like I think any chance that we get as creators to make some more money is pretty important. Like, I have very much so tossed up ideas around Patreon over the past week as to whether or not I will start to offer that as an alternate for people who want to perhaps support the YouTube side of things, or support what I do more, because there are people who want to do that. I've got a few different ideas as to things to offer, but my main issue with that has always been not knowing what to offer people for it. But I sat there recording this stupid ad, I'm going to do the censor button. I don't have it on this person. God damn it. This stupid ad. And one of the things that was in there was this stupid ad, was the fact that I stuff up a lot. So I'm like, shit. And then I'm like, maybe I could do gag reels, that'd be fun, And then I was thinking, because the way that I started the video yesterday was, I'm like, how do you say hello to 100, 200, whatever it is, people? So I started the video off and I was like, oh, hey, you, like that. And I was thinking to myself, why couldn't I just have like a tier where every time I put a video up, I just randomize and pick someone's name out of it. And then I say, oh, hey, what's going on there, Lukey Bangers? How you doing? Put their name up on the screen for a second, transition away for it. Like, I think stuff like that would be fun. So being able to sit there and create different ways to offer service is really, really cool, because that means that you can start to integrate those other pay avenues. So, I see no downside to that at all.
It definitely is Facebook and Instagram too. I just found the post from old Lord Zuckerberg.
Oh, mate, Mate, he's definitely not an alien. Definitely not at all.
This cross subscriptions, it's called interoperable subscriptions.
This is a word.
We're letting creators give their paying subscribers on other platforms access to subscriber only Facebook groups. So that's all that was announced. So there's no details on that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, interesting.
But yeah, it's definitely Facebook and Instagram with the monetization too. So that's good.
Interoperable.
That's the one, but they put it together into one word. They've written it down as one word. Oh, you just did that for me. Interoperable.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, thanks. No, very good. Very, very good. Oh man, no, yeah, I'm all for that. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Like it opens the door to the conversation about things like Restream as well. I think down the track, because if we can get money from things like Patreon, then why aren't we allowed to stream from one to Patreon at the same time? Like, why aren't we allowed to stream from one to the other at the same time and have it as part of a perk package? So, yeah, I think that's definitely going to open that conversation again, which we sorely need to do. Because at the moment, anything that I can do is I think about 12 more followers on TikTok. I think that I can do live streams from TikTok. So I can put my C922 down by my feet and have it be an upwards angle from my feet just to me talking at the same time as I'm streaming on Twitch. and it's not the same content, and hopefully it brings more viewers in. But yeah, so you'll be able to do that. Oh yeah,
the stream would be on OnlyFans, and then you have a different one for
TikTok
over here, and your OnlyFans down here.
No, I refuse WikiFeet. I'm still 1-0, not getting WikiFeeted yet. I've yet to be WikiFeeted, and I refuse to be. So, but yeah, being able to stream, the only one you can do at the moment because it doesn't interfere with content is something like OnlyFans. Or I suppose you could set up a camera for YouTube, but what would be the point in I'm sitting here playing a video game and all you see is this screen? You don't see from a different angle. You don't see anything else. So yeah, there wouldn't be a point to that. With TikTok, there's a little bit more of a point because it's stupid and, it's meant for vapid content like that anyway. So yeah, there would be no reason not to have it on there. But yeah, speaking,
I don't get it.
Oh, I mean, I don't get it either.
I don't get it, but I also find myself watching it for hours on end sometimes.
Oh yeah, and I find myself doing it for hours as well. Like one of our community friends that we've got, he, like I said, I was streaming once and he came in, he started talking. We call him Kark because we already have a Mark, so we have another one named Kark. And we were talking and we were talking about eating cheese out of the bag and how disgusting I find that and how just heinous that is to me. Just walking up to a bag of mozzarella and just like hoeing in. And I was like, nah, man, no, that's gross. Why would you do that? And then the community was like, oh yeah, like how Shippy drinks milk. And I started talking, and I'm like, you know what? You should do this for TikTok there, Kark. You should get yourself some cheese like it's cereal and pour the milk in and just eat it on TikTok. And he did. And I hate that. I hate all of that comment. He was fine. For me, I felt sick straight away. But that's the kind of content that you're producing over there, isn't it? It's not exactly the most brain intensive content over there. So yeah. But you know what it gets you? It gets watch time. How's that for a transition, huh? How's that for? Because you know where we're going. Twitch and Facebook increase their watch time for the first time this year. You want to bring us up to date with that?
Oh, so yeah, there's not like a. Let me open this up. It's not like a. The interesting part about this news that Twitch and Facebook have increased their watch time for the first time in 2022 isn't like. It's kind of big news because it means that maybe the downward slope that we've been seeing because of people going back to their normal lives after COVID has maybe hit its like plateau back to the norm or what the new norm is going to be, which is so Twitch's Facebook watch time increased by 2% from the month on month and Facebook's by 4%. So only very, very small increases from the month before, but it's the first time that they didn't go down since the new year. So that's just a good sign that we might and the new plateau is still much higher than like pre-pandemic sort of figures too. So the fact that it might have gone down to its new norm and still be much higher than that is a good thing.
Yeah, I like that's all we need. Like we honestly, we've been in such a downward spiral for such a long time. We just need a bit of an up, and thankfully it looks like we're on that way. So we can only hope it continues to trend upwards. There's not much else that we can say because it is just a wing and a prayer at this point. But yeah, we can hope that with an increase in the trend that we get an increase in viewership and that it's not, specifically limited to certain streamers on the platform. As we've said before, they replace streamers all the time, so it's doubtful that that's the case. But on both the platforms, really. But really, we can just hope that now this means that we might be getting back because it's been a hard 8 months for so many creators. And yeah, I'm tired. Look at my eyeballs. My eyeballs haven't looked like this. Look at them. They are. This is all the wrong color. This is and with my shaved head right now, that's why the hair is growing back. I don't want to look like fucking Uncle Fester. So it's this is a problem, and this is a problem because we don't get sleep because we worry about everything when it comes to streaming. So if you're doing this as a job, that's like Yeah. We need a win. We need a real win here. So I keep getting called Gru from fucking Minions because of my head. So yeah.
I haven't got that one. I haven't really got that one before. Uncle Fester. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I hate that too. But I can't do the neck. My neck doesn't go wide when I do that. It just goes back.
Yeah, Uncle Fester doesn't have a beard though, does he? So that kind
of and I refuse. I got offered $1,400 to shave my beard the other day on stream.
1,400.
Mm-hmm. I did not do that.
Who was that?
Oh, just a member of the community who was just specifically trying to troll.
What is this worth?
Surely that's worth a bit more.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, but mate, it's got a beautiful color to it though, but it is getting a bit wild.
Yeah, it's a bit. I need to get the edges clipped a bit brought in a little bit. I was thinking about shaving it off altogether, but I'm like, but when I start streaming, people like the beard.
Well, what you should do?
I need to shave it before I start streaming, so it's not a thing.
Just continue to grow the sides until it eventually creates a halo around your head.
I haven't got much up here though. That's the problem.
Oh, it'd be a mane. It'd be fucking majestic. It could go back and everything.
That goes back a little bit.
Yes,
further, probably back around the top.
Oh my god, that'd be the best.
So it'd look like you've put a baby bib on and it got stuck halfway.
Yes, please. Oh my god, I love that so much. That's the fucking coolest thing ever. You'd look like a warlock. You'd look like you're wearing a warlock helmet from Destiny. Like one of those stupid ones that have got like the handle on the back. That's what it would look like. Yeah. It would be the fucking best thing ever. Yes. That's it. We've done all the topics. We've spoke about everything. I don't think we have anything in the community conversation at this point. We're going to be working a lot harder on actually doing that now, on actually getting around and having those conversations with y'all, because obviously we went through a significant period where people like Natty had to do a bit of the old stand-in. People like Straight had to do stand-ins. Even Reflex was here doing a few of those as well, even though it was super late. But we're back. We're back as the dream team here, and hopefully we stay this way for a bit. So we're going to try.
Good.
Yeah. Plus, this looks real good right now. I love it. So hopefully we get involved with you guys a little bit more too. So if you do have any questions, even for next week, please submit them in the Discord. I think it's !Discord, right? Please submit them in the Discord. Hey, it is there too. Or hit us up on the socials. You can ask me questions all the time. You know where to find me, but just in case they don't know where to find you, Lukey, where do they find you?
You can find me at LukeyBangers with a Z on the end on all of the platforms. Pretty much, that's basically it.
Basically it.
Because I'm not very active. I feel like a bit of a fraud telling people to go find me on these places where I just aren't at the moment. But anyway, that's if you send me some tweets. Send me some tweets. And also send Warship some tweets and other things at what addresses, Warship? What are they?
At fucking _Warship still. Also, what's the OnlyFans? That's the big question. Is that everyone wants to know what the OnlyFans is, I think, for you there. So I think that's just of.com/bangers with a Z. Go there and get yourself some sexy feet pics.
Yeah, if I was Lukey Bangers on OnlyFans, it would give people the wrong impression that I'm only interested in people named Lukey.
Actually, Lukey Gangbangers is what the name is over on OnlyFans for him. But yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere that it has the Warship written, although except for Twitter where it's _Warship, because, you know, I still can't get that. There's one person with one tweet in like 6 years, and they even don't want to have it anymore. They can't get in to change their own stupid account, where it's like, how do you not do that? How do you not know your own email address? Just fix it. But yeah, that everywhere else, it's the Warship. I'm considering changing it just so I can be uniform everywhere, but I don't know what I'd change it to. So
yeah. Uniform everywhere is definitely. So everyone send Shippy some tweets suggesting the new name. Yeah,
go and do that. Absolutely. But yeah, guys, Shippy, thank you very much for being here. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Shippy, I think, is great, but it's taken in stupid places. Taken, in stupid places, and it's not even for anyone. It's like bot accounts. So it's dumb, and I'm mad about it, and I'm not going to start ranting now because we'll be here for another hour. But thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please stick around for the raid. Please do that. for me, the Warship, for Lukey Bangers. I'm a Streamaholic, he's a Streamaholic, and now all of you are Streamaholics too. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching the show. Have you clicked the subscribe button yet? Have you given us a thumbs up and maybe commented on the video too? Have you done that yet? Have you done it? Oh, cheers. Oh, cheers. Thanks.